Good evening and welcome to the National Cyber League Spring 2024 Award Ceremony. I'm Emily Calandranis, Director of Development and Partnerships on behalf of the NCL, and I'm excited to MC tonight's ceremony. It was a record-breaking season with incredible accomplishments, and we're so happy to have you join us to help celebrate the NCL community. This evening is made possible by our presenting sponsors, CrowdStrike, Cyphertech Solutions, and Amazon. Their continued support and sponsorship of the NCL allows us to continue to bridge curriculum to careers and provide resources and community engagement season after season. This evening, we're going to begin with welcoming remarks from the NCL Commissioner, Dr. David Zaitchik. We will then hear from the NCL Treasurer, Dr. Kostas Teregas, and I'm thrilled to welcome our special guest, Laurie Salvail, Executive Director of Cyber.org. We will then move into recognizing top individuals and top teams. And as we wrap up the event, we will give a shout out to our Spirit Week supporters. Finally, we will share the highly anticipated Fall 2024 competition dates. Directly after the ceremony, stay tuned for Q&A with the game creators hosted by the Cyber Skyline Engineering Team with special guest Dylan Watson from CrowdStrike. And now it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage NCL Commissioner Dr. David Zaitchik, Assistant Professor at California State University, Chico.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the call. Thank you for joining us. It is my pleasure to be here with you all, and I definitely look forward to this event every season. Just a little background on me and my role as commissioner. You might not see me as a player as much as you do Franz and the others at Cyber Skyline, but what I do is I work a lot with the coaches. So I'm here to help coaches with material, get teams going, answer questions, recruit coaches, and all that. Plus, I'm also working on research on NCL. So what I'm doing is currently looking at our alumni. So where are our NCL alumni? And I want to let you guys know that they're doing well. And our alumni population is growing. So what you guys should know now is that now that NCL has been around for over 10 years, we have NCL alumni in hiring positions out there in the industry. So what you're doing, working in the NCL and succeeding in the NCL in the games, is definitely appreciated by hiring companies and hiring managers and recognized. So more and more hiring managers will know what the NCL is when you discuss it during an interview or put it on your resume. So just want to say all of your hard work is paying off and will pay off. We are here to honor our winners in the NCL, but I also want to let you know that, part of participating in the NCL isn't just all about winning, right? It's about growth. And a lot of our participants who have reached top spots this season have participated several times. So they are actively growing and honing their skills. That shows up on the leaderboard. And for everyone else who's not high on the leaderboard, it also shows up in your scouting report. So your efforts and all the time that you put in on the NCL definitely helps, not just now and getting to the leaderboard, but for your future in the cybersecurity industry. And I also want to let you know that I recognize how much hard work all of you are putting into this, especially our top players that we're here to talk about today. Hours and hours and hours, countless of hours, sleepless nights of working and solving these challenges. So hats off to you. I'm always impressed with how much time, energy that you are putting into this competition. So thank you, players, for all of your hard work. So next, it is my honor to introduce Dr. Kostas Teregas, who is the NCL Board Treasurer. He is the director of Cybersecurity and Privacy Research Institute. He's the director of the Cybersecurity and Privacy Research Institute at GWU. Sorry, Costas. And also one of our founding members of NCL. Welcome, Costas.
Thanks, David, and hello to everyone. It's kind of a shock. I've been getting messages on LinkedIn. Congratulations on your work anniversary, and I didn't know which work anniversary. LinkedIn works in mysterious ways, and one of my friends shared it with me. It's 12 years with the National Cyber League. So it's 12 years that the National Cyber League has been in existence. I'm one of the very happy and proud people to have been there in the creation of the National Cyber League, and really happy to see its evolution and how, in partnership with Cyber Skyline, it's grown. I wanted to share with you one word, which is competency. I work a lot with the White House Office of National Cybersecurity Director. I work a lot with CISA. I work a lot with DHS. I work a lot with the FBI, a lot of alphabet soup agents in the federal government. And everyone, but everyone, is talking about competencies when they look to hire. And what a better way to prove your competency than through the NCL. I also want to tell you that a very proud advance for the NCL is the very specific and targeted manner in which we've tried to address gender balance in the players. We're making inroads. And Emily, as the director of our community engagement, is doing magnificent work to bring more and more young ladies into the game itself. And we want to see that grow as well. Finally, I want to thank you all and to tell you that the key word, even better than competency, is fun. I know that you have fun doing it. I know that you leave your heart on the keyboard sometimes, but have fun, enjoy yourselves, and be with us because, as David mentioned, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get into great paying jobs and great and successful careers with the NCL and the NCL alumni in front of you. So good luck, enjoy tonight, and I'm so happy to have been able to share a few moments with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Costas. Appreciate those words. So next we have a very special guest with us today, Laurie Salvail. She is the executive director at cyber.org. What she does is she brings cyber education to K through 12 teachers. She has had over 12 years of experience in the classroom, and she's currently working on her PhD in curriculum and instruction at Louisiana State University. That must keep you pretty busy. She's passionate about implementing innovative research-based strategies to impact education across the country. One thing about cyber.org is that their platform reaches more than 30,000 teachers across the US and 4 US territories. Laurie, thank you for your time. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. As the director of cyber.org and a former teacher, I'm incredibly proud to be here with the National Cyber League's top achievers. At cyber.org, our mission is to ensure that every K-12 student has foundational and technical cybersecurity knowledge and gains the skills to pursue cybersecurity careers. Today, cyber.org does have over 30,000 teachers enrolled in its curricular platform, and we've trained over 22,000 educators, impacting K-12 students across all 50 states. I discovered my passion for education and cybersecurity early in my professional career. As an educator, I realized I could be part of the solution to help scaffold learning and make sure we're not scaring kids with cybersecurity, but we're being honest and truthful so they know how to protect themselves and their information. At cyber.org, we are proud to be empowering educators and caregivers with the resources they need to teach cybersecurity in the K-12 classroom. By introducing students to cybersecurity starting as early as kindergarten and throughout elementary school, middle school, and high school, we are educating the next generation of cybersecurity professionals. We are proud to be a part of the solution to diversifying the cybersecurity workforce by encouraging young men and women with diverse backgrounds to pursue careers in cybersecurity. Cyber.org has a wealth of no-cost resources to help educators teach cybersecurity, including curriculum, lessons, and the Cyber.org range, a safe virtual environment for K-12 students to learn cybersecurity skills. Through local programs like Project Reach and Project Access, we are focused on advancing access to cybersecurity education among minority students and those with disabilities. Cyber.org has a wealth of industry partnerships, including organizations like Girl Scouts of America and Common Sense, and industry allies like Amazon, Palo Alto Networks, General Dynamics, and more. As students and future cybersecurity professionals in this room, you are all stepping into a field full of opportunity, innovation, and immense impact. The field of cybersecurity offers competitive salaries with opportunities for flexibility and remote work. Cybersecurity impacts everything that we do, from critical infrastructure to the computers we're using every day. And teaching cybersecurity in schools nationwide is essential to advancing the U.S. workforce. Here are just a few pieces of advice to guide you and your career journey. First of all, embrace your uniqueness. Diverse perspectives, experiences, and insights are invaluable. And we need more individuals of all backgrounds in cybersecurity. We are stronger when we work together and leverage our unique perspectives. Today, there are tremendous role models in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, Director Jen Easterly, is a transformational leader advancing the nation's cybersecurity efforts to shore up your U.S. critical infrastructure. Kimba Walden, who served as the Acting National Cyber Director in 2023, advised the President of the United States on cybersecurity policy and strategy. While serving in this position, Kimba contributed to the development of the National Cybersecurity Strategy in March of 2023, along with its accompanying implementation plan in June 2023. So dream big. The high school me would have never believed that I would have become the executive director of a cybersecurity education company, but you have to be able to dream it, see it, and believe in your ability to do something really big. Don't be afraid to assert yourself, share ideas, and make your mark. The cybersecurity industry needs you, especially if you do not fit the traditional cybersecurity stereotypes of the past. You belong here among cybersecurity professionals. Never stop learning. Cybersecurity is a rapidly evolving landscape with new threats and technologies emerging constantly. So keeping your curiosity is critical. Stay hungry for knowledge and never shy away from diving into new areas of study or seeking out opportunities to grow. As a lifelong learner, I immerse myself in a new book every single week, exploring various subjects such as cybersecurity, curriculum design, and everything in between. Being a lifelong learner means I'm never too old to acquire knowledge on something new. So expand your skill set. This will really set you apart, whether it's seeking a new certification or maybe even a cybersecurity degree. Continue to look for those hands-on experiences. Volunteer somewhere or sign up for an internship. You really need to make sure you grow your network, connect with fellow professionals in cybersecurity, and seek out mentors who can offer guidance and support. Actively engage with industry communities, both in person and online. A few of my favorite are Women in Cybersecurity, Black Girls Hack, and Raisa Cyber. Networking not only opens doors to new opportunities, but it also provides a support system of like-minded individuals who may share ideas and challenges. My last piece of advice is believe in yourself. Joining the cybersecurity field is an incredibly impactful way to advance your career, help shape the future of an emerging field with endless possibilities. Trust your abilities to stay resilient in the face of challenges. It's important to slow down and make sure your perspective is heard, whether it's in a conversation with a peer, a coworker, or in a team meeting. As you navigate your future career and consider cybersecurity, know that your contributions can help forge a more inclusive, diverse, and secure future for the nation's cybersecurity posture. Embrace the journey ahead with confidence and determination, and hold yourself to high standards. Never underestimate the impact you're going to make. So thank you to the National Cyber League team for the opportunity to speak with you today, congratulate our award winners, and just be a part of this amazing process.
Your inspirational words and your unwavering support for the NCL is so valuable. And our partnership with cyber.org is such an incredible benefit for our community and collective outreach. We're thrilled to partner together and look forward to supporting your team at EdCon in June. So thank you again for joining us. And speaking of community, I would be remiss if I didn't give a big shout out and a huge thank you to our NCL community. And as you look on this slide, you'll see some familiar faces, I hope. And we really just wanted to have a shout out showcasing the diverse group of students that represent hundreds of schools and thousands of students across the US. Truly, thank you to the NCL community. We are so proud of your accomplishments and your dedication to making our world a safer and better place. And truly, these smiles say it all. And we really treasure every single one of our community members. And thank you for all the support for the people that have joined us for this evening's ceremony. And we hope to continue sharing pictures like this and really representing the NCL community. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to switch gears just a little bit, and we're going to have Commissioner Zaitchik come back on stage to announce our top winners for the spring 2024 season.
Woo! All right, I'm back. Well, we do have some more happy faces to show. We'll start here with the top individuals. Lots of smiles coming your way. So let's start with the top individuals in the standard leaderboard. Coming in at third place, we have Sean Huggins from the University of Cincinnati. He had point value of 3,000. Way to go. An accuracy of 94.24%. And he is smelling something that I'm not quite sure what that is. But one interesting fact about Sean, and I don't know if this helped him achieve those 3,000 points, but according to Sean, one time he pet a bird. Thank you, Sean. Next, let's move on to second place. So in second place, we have, here he comes, Braden Borgs from Dakota State University, also with 3,000 points. Amazing. A little bit better accuracy with 98.5% accuracy. That is quite the achievement, Braden. Congratulations on your second place finish. Let's now move to first place. In first place, we have, wait for it, Lloyd Gonzalez from the University of Nevada, Reno, also with 3,000 points. Go figure. He had an accuracy of 98.5%. And Lloyd wants to let us know that he did all of the log analysis using Excel. He's never used a terminal before and has no idea what grep, awk, and set are, although he did type those, so maybe he knows a little bit about it. He wants to let us know also that he's terrified of anything that doesn't come with a GUI. So congratulations, Lloyd, by solving several of those challenges with Excel. Maybe we can get you on to some Microsoft sponsorship. Let's now move to the top individuals in the experience leaderboard. So coming in at third place, we have Tristan Myers with the SANS Technology Institute. Tristan got 2,990 points with 100% accuracy. Tristan has participated, this will be his 5th time in the NCL. He is currently working through his SANS MSISE program, and he wants to know that he's grown from your friendly neighborhood IT guy to a newly minted CISO for an MSSP. That is impressive. Way to go, Tristan. He also wants to let us know that he contributes his success to both the NCL and the SANS program. We appreciate the shout out. Thank you, Tristan. Let's move on to second place. Second place in the experience leaderboard, we have Nathan Spanier. Nathan, seen here in his 1967 Piper Cherokee. How did I know that? Well, this wasn't one of the challenges, but he told me. He is an aviation enthusiast and apparently an amazing cybersecurity professional. He is with the SANS Technology Institute, and Nathan scored 2,990 points with 100% accuracy. No room for error there, Nathan, especially when you're flying a plane. So good job keeping accurate. Moving on to our first place. We have, in first place, Experience Leaderboard, Anthony Sneed, also from the SANS Technology Institute. A perfect score, 3,000 points, accuracy of 91.61%. And one thing that Anthony would like us all to know is that CyberChef uses a trim function to prevent brute force attacks on rail fence ciphers. Anthony, I'm not sure if you discovered that as you were using CyberChef, but that's an interesting fact. Thank you. I'm sure everybody else who is also on this leaderboard has used CyberChef and is very familiar with it. So thank you, Anthony, and for your words of wisdom about CyberChef. Congratulations on your first place finish and your perfect score. All right, we will now transition over to the top teams. And we will start with the top teams, the standard leaderboard. And we're going to start here with the fifth place team. So in fifth place this year on the standard leaderboard, we have the Cyber Wolves Red at CSU Pueblo. They are from Colorado State University, Pueblo. They achieved 2,845 points. And if you can squint in and look at their pictures, they all look very young. I'm not sure if they're old enough to be playing and competing in NCL, but I'm not sure. They got 92.68% accuracy. And a very interesting story was provided to us by the Cyber Wolves. They let us know that with 3 hours left, and despite holding on to fifth place, they were uneasy about maintaining their position long enough to secure a trophy by the game's conclusion. So they decided to use a hint for the Web Hearts Challenge, which I think maybe several people did, which momentarily dropped them to 8th place. Fortunately, they cracked the challenge shortly after redeeming the hint, propelling them to 2nd place just before the leaderboard went dark. And as we know, when the leaderboard goes dark, anything can happen next. That's why we're doing this award ceremony. So without taking that risk, they wouldn't have reached this 5th place spot. So you got to weigh those risks. And it looks like this time it paid off for you guys. Congratulations, Cyber Wolves Red, for making a 5th place finish. Nicely done. Why don't we now move on to 4th place? Again, in the standard leaderboard, in 4th place, we have FitSec. I want to break, semicolon, free. Open paren, close paren, semicolon. Florida Institute of Technology with a point value of 2,845 points and a very impressive accuracy of 96.61%. One interesting thing about FitSec is they were founded and currently headed by undergrad students. Congratulations on creating this very successful team and your 4th place finish. Way to go, FitSec. I think we've seen you here before, so keep on coming back. Love seeing you at the top of the board. So moving on to third place. Another team that I think we've seen before up on the leaderboard is, wait for it, Rensselaer Cactus Collaboratory from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. They had 2,855 points with an accuracy of 97.46%. They want us to know that they do a lot more than just play CTFs, such as this one, the NCL. They conduct cutting-edge research on quantum security. We definitely need that, so thank you guys. With RPI's brand new quantum computer, just a few hundred feet from RCCHQ. That's pretty impressive to have access to your very own quantum computer. They also pen test their club's website, okay, good idea, and provide cybersecurity awareness training for the campus community. That is extremely important, as we know. We need to make sure that hacking the human does not happen as often as it does. So thank you for protecting your own university, and congratulations on the third place, and welcome back once again to the top of the leaderboard. Let's now move on to second place. In second place on our standard leaderboard, we have Bits for Everyone, the United States Military Academy. Congratulations. They got 2,870 points with an accuracy of 94.26%. Very impressive. One really interesting fact about them is only 4 of them are computer science majors. Holy cow. What else? What are the other majors? I really want to know. You guys are leaving us hanging here. 4 computer science majors. Well, that's very impressive. Way to go, guys. And again, welcome back to the NCL. Okay, Emily, I will turn the honors over to you for the first place team. Take it away, Emily.
Thank you. This is very exciting for me, and I think you all are going to realize why I'm the one announcing. But for first place, top team, we have user 0, California State University, Chico. Point value 2870, accuracy 100%. Congratulations, Commissioner Zaitchik. This is near and dear to your heart. And a fun fact about this awesome team is that the youngest and oldest players on their team were born a decade apart. So talk about some diversity there. Congratulations. This is really exciting. Great job.
Thank you, Emily. We appreciate that. All right, let's now switch gears once again. We will look at the top teams from the experience leaderboard. Let's go ahead and, why don't we start with 5th place once again. So in 5th place, wait for it, is SANS.edu, Sentinels 986. What can I say? Amazing job. You guys just continue to impress and rock our leaderboard. So thanks for coming back and doing that repeat once again. So SANS Technology Institute, you guys got 2,870 points. Again, very impressive accuracy, 98.29%. Something interesting here that maybe is going to be more common for our online education is that the team has never met each other in person. As far as they know, none of them are real. Uh-oh, does that mean we have some AI now competing in the NCL? Is that what we're leading on to? Mm-hmm. Maybe not. I think coming in 5th place might be a good occasion to actually get together and see each other in one place, if possible. Congratulations, SANS. All right, let's now move on to the 4th place, again, experienced leaderboard. Coming in 4th place is, look at them, the BYU Siberia from Brigham Young University. Congratulations, BYU team. You guys, 100% accuracy, 2,870 points. Look at those smiling faces. They all look very happy, and they're all in person, and they all see each other, and they're all real, I think. So congratulations, our 4th place team. Something they'd like to share? Not quite sure how to read this. Let's try it. Car, TEAOYN, OOPNUIECIIWTNH. Oh, there it is. It's coming up. Thank you. Thank you for not making me read the whole thing. Appreciate that. I'm thinking that's something that everyone out there can take a little snapshot of and decipher on their own. Thank you, BYU, for returning the favor of a challenge. And congratulations on your 4th place finish. Let's move right along to 3rd place. And I love the name of this team and the following teams as well. So in 3rd place, we have an amazing picture. Look at that. How long did you guys spend on that? That's impressive. Pie in the Sky. Great name. They are a mixed school, so representing several different schools. They had a point value of 2,880 points with an accuracy of 95.08%. They are a group of strangers banded together from the official NCL Discord server. There you go. The power of the NCL Discord server. Team Pie in the Sky consists of talented young individuals, many of which are still in high school. Amazing. Way to go. Carried by a love for cybersecurity and a mildly concerning hyperfixation, Team Pie in the Sky were throttled by nothing except for GPU limitations. Yep, sorry about that. And a maddening crypto challenge. Yes, there's always one that's gonna get you. But stay tuned for the end after all of the announcements and the end of this particular section to talk to our game creators. So be ready. I'm sure the game creators are ready for your questions and comments on the maddening crypto challenge. Congratulations, Pie in the Sky. Let's move on to the experience leaderboard, 2nd place. And in 2nd place, we have Mason CC, George Mason University, with a point value of 2,880 and accuracy of 100%. Can't get much better than that. Way to go, Mason CC. One thing they want us to know, and you guys should know this, is that they host the Patriot CTF virtually in the fall of each year. Hey, so they got their own. And the Patriot CTF is the largest CTF in the state of Virginia, and development has already begun for 2024. So stay tuned for George Mason University and their Patriot CTF. I'm guessing they want us all to compete. So thank you for the message, and thank you for creating another CTF for us to continue to hone our skills. We need as many of these as we can. All right, we are now coming upon the very last bit of this awards ceremony, but very important, 1st place position for the experience leaderboard. We have, once again, a very creative picture. And we've seen them here before. I'm not sure if version 3 is different than the other versions, but we have, once again, joining us at the top of our leaderboard, the former gifted kids from mixed schools, meaning all over the place. I think we should take a moment just to look at this picture and take it in. There we go. They had a point value of 2,980 points with an accuracy of 100%. Way to go. One thing, let's see, that we have here. Yes, so we do have one little quick fun fact about former Gifted Kids version 3 is that their team hails from 5 different universities. Way to go, coming together to create the top team for the experienced leaderboard. We'd love to see this collaboration across schools. And that's what's going to happen when you get into industry, right? You're going to be from different schools. So hey, maybe we can take the former gifted kids and bring them all into one company, because apparently you guys work very well as a team. Congratulations, top place finishers, the former gifted kids version 3. All right, congratulations once again to everybody. So and if you are listening in and played in the NCL, I do want to emphasize that even if you didn't make this leaderboard, what you are doing is you're honing your skill and you are competing against yourself. And what hopefully you will notice as you continue to compete in the NCL, that your skills, your score will continue to grow. So keep at it. We're very, very impressed with everybody that is on our leaderboard and continues to come back and play in the NCL. Thank you. All right.
So I'm going to jump in here, David. So
yes.
Thank you so much. And
Sure.
Once again, congratulations to your team and to all of the teams. Incredibly impressive. And I always love seeing the photos that come in. So thanks for your creativity and keeping it fun for us. A little bit about this past week, Spirit Week. Hopefully you all have attended our events. This was actually our 4th Spirit Week that we've had at the National Cyber League. We typically do Spirit Week right after the team game, and it's typically a variety of career prep activities and events. And this week in particular, we had some new events. We had the CrowdStrike webinar with their amazing CrowdStrike team sharing about what they do on a daily basis, and also their origin stories, how they got into cybersecurity. That was incredibly inspiring. And we also had Job Hunt Like a Hacker with Jason Blanchard from Black Hills InfoSec. And he gave some really amazing tips and resources for students to be able to not only apply to jobs, but where they can look to find jobs that are going to fit exactly what they're looking for when they're trying to enter the cybersecurity space. With all these different activities that we have each Spirit Week, we hope that students are able to interact with each other, to network with companies, and really to have a sense of purpose when they're in the NCL and know that we are providing community opportunities that are going to support them in their careers. We hope next season to have even more exciting events, and we look forward to promoting valuable resources to the NCL community. And for probably one of the most exciting parts of this award ceremony, I'm going to give it back to Commissioner Zaitchik, who is going to share the fall 2024 competition dates.
All right, speaking of next season, yes, we'll be doing this all again, and hope to see you guys all back and playing in the fall of 2024. Here are the dates. Take a quick screenshot. So not very long from now, registration opens up again on August 19th. Late registration is October 12th through 15th. And you don't have to wait many more months for the practice game, because it will open up October 14th through the 20th. So we got another week of that. The individual game will take place the weekend of October 25th through 27th. Once again, a Friday to a Sunday. Then we'll wait a couple weeks for the team game. The team game will be, once again, a Friday to a Sunday, November 8th through 10th. The gym will remain open that entire time and close in the middle of December, December 13th. So hopefully you guys got all those on your calendar. As everybody knows, it takes a lot of time and effort and planning to do well in the NCL. So I think you probably want to put these dates on your calendar now so that you're not planning anything during those weekends. Dedicate those weekends to the NCL Fall 2024. All right, thank you, everybody. Let's now hand it back over to Emily. Emily, you're on again.
Thank you. And this is going to conclude the Spring 2024 award ceremony. Once again, congratulations to everyone who is part of the NCL community, whether you were a coach, a competitor, the support team for Cyber Skyline, the board of directors for NCL, and for all our sponsors and partnering organizations. You make all of this possible. So thank you so much for supporting us and being with us this evening. Before we say goodbye, I want to give once again an enormous thank you to Laurie Salvail for joining us this evening. Her inspirational words, you truly brought a sense of occasion to tonight's events, and we really appreciate you being part of our community and this particular event. And this was such an exhilarating event, celebrating all of your accomplishments of so many of those that are a big part of the NCL community. Thank you for everyone being here once again. And please stay tuned. In just a few moments, we're going to go ahead and transition to Q&A with the NCL game creators, hosted by the Cyber Skyline Engineering Team with special guest Dylan Watson. If you have any questions, if you'd like to ask the team, you can go to menti.com, and the code is right there on the screen. And our team will be up in just a moment. So everyone have a great evening, and we'll see you next season.
All right. Hello, everyone. Give us 1 second as we go and transition all of our AV over to the Q&A. But thank you all for joining us today. If you all have not yet already done so, if you would like to participate in the Q&A and ask your questions, I'm going to be doing a screen share of the instructions on how you can go about doing that. So give me 1 second here. All right. All right. So there are the instructions to get set up for the Q&A. You go to menti.com, and then we have the code up there. That is 55158112. And you can go and leave your questions there. You can upvote, downvote, and we're going to be going through these questions and seeing what you all were curious about from the NCL spring season. So let's go around and do some introductions. So hello, I'm Franz Pear from Cyber Skyline. I'm one of the co-founders. I'm part of the kind of behind the scenes team and sometimes in the front team with making the challenges and handling support with us today. We have the rest of that team here. We have Tristan, Max, and Connor, who are part of our engineering team. They help make all the fabulous challenges that you all do during the season. And I'll pass it over, and we'll do a round of introductions as well with them. Let's just do a fun fact, because I know you all participated in NCL in the past. So I'll just go around, and I want to know kind of what was your big takeaway from your NCL experience as a student participant before you started working and making the challenges for NCL. So I'll go in reverse order here. Connor, do you wanna start?
Oh man, why gotta start with me? All right.
Enjoy the spot.
So, hello, I am Connor Moaning. This is now my 3.5 year at Cyber Skyline. Before that, I had participated in the NCL for I think 3 or 4 seasons. And so I guess a fun fact, my very first season that I played in the NCL was fall of 2018, and my team from Chico State won that competition for the team game for that season. So, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Connor. And Max, we'll jump over to you.
Hi, I'm Max. I am the newest engineer here at Cyber Skyline. I've been here just under a year now. And fun fact about NCL for me, I guess, was I started my cybersecurity career with absolutely zero knowledge of cybersecurity. I was just a computer science student with some friends who were in the cybersecurity club. And so I decided to give it a shot and ended up really enjoying it and just throwing myself down the cybersecurity pipeline. Yeah, and now I develop challenges for it.
All right, thanks, Max. And Tristan, I will go over to you. Then after you do your introduction, would you mind introducing our special guest?
Sure thing, Franz. Hi, I'm Tristan Messner. I started playing NCL sometime in like high school, and then while I was still in high school, I eventually started making challenges for NCL as like an intern for Cyber Skyline, and now I work here full time. Now I get to introduce our guest, Dylan Watson from CrowdStrike. Dylan, do you want to tell us like a little bit about what your day-to-day job looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Dylan Watson. I'm an associate consultant on the professional services team, specifically on the incident response team here at CrowdStrike. So my day-to-day job involves a lot of we get brought in by a customer if there is an active intrusion or historical intrusion that they've identified. So there's already been a threat actor present in their environment, or they want to double check if there is a threat actor present in their environment, right? And we come in, we do active containment to make sure that we, from a medical sense, stop the bleeding, make sure that there's no more proliferation of threat actor activity in a customer's environment. And then we go through and we do forensics, as well as reporting on those forensics back to the customer. So that can be identifying PII that was stolen, identifying paths threat actor took, right? Building out your MITRE attack framework for each step of what this particular threat actor did, as well as curating intelligence and other kind of semi-related areas to that. And so my day-to-day can vary from being on the phone with a CISO for most of the day to being, neck deep inside of a Linux disk image, figuring out, how they planted a particular web shell on a machine. So it changes a lot day to day, which is something that I really enjoy. So thank you all for having me here. Super excited to chat about this year's NCL challenge and everything like that.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you taking time out of your Friday to come and talk over all this stuff with us.
And Dylan's really going to be able to give us kind of the connection to what you're going to see in the real world, right? So the whole point of doing CTFs and participating in the National Cyber League, it's really to build your skills to be ready for the workforce. And we'll be able to see how some of those challenges map to what Dylan might see on a day-to-day basis. I see some questions coming in. I will put this up again on the screen. If you want to go and ask your questions, there are the instructions. And as I go through the questions, I'll put them up and we'll all be able to see them together. And I'll start with the very first question here that we have with the highest upvotes, which is, how are password cracking challenges crafted? Any tips from the challenge creators for people competing, specifically for the hard cracking challenges? I'm happy to take that question unless anyone else is eager to go and take it first. All right, I'll take it. Go ahead.
I was going to say you would, Franz, because I think you were the one that.
Yeah, for this season, I made the challenges for password cracking. So the idea behind how password cracking challenges are made, if you all have done NCL for multiple seasons, you know there's kind of a pattern where in the easy level password cracking challenges, you'll have like your standard hashes that are going to be in RockU. So that's meant to be something where you can look at the gym. There's like step-by-step guides on how to do it, and it's super easy and straightforward to go and get the answer. As we start getting into the medium level challenges, that's when we start looking in terms of how can you go beyond just like a simple, here's a word list and I crack a password, to actually requiring some additional techniques with being able to use some of the more of the options in your password cracking tools like Hashcat or John. And so those are where you're going to see some of the challenges where you have like a predefined format that you have to generate a word list to conform with that format. We've also done different challenges where we give you kind of like part of a word list or like the full word list, and then you just have to go and add permutations to that. So running that through some rules, that's kind of more on the medium level. And for the hard challenges, that's where it gets interesting. So in terms of how do you go about making it, really what we try to do is we want the challenge to be for you to come up with your own word list. And so having a topic where you can go online and find a lot of resources for that and build that list, and then run some rules and permutations on that. So usually what we do is we start with a theme. So this year, for some of the hard password cracking challenges we had in the team game, one theme which were like kind of animals, and then the other one being Disney characters. And so I literally went online and I searched for list of animals, list of Disney characters, and then the animal one, I went through and I selected, okay, we want a handful of very common ones that will be very straightforward to get, and then some harder ones, which maybe they're more niche. We also went and just beyond just looking at the names of animals, looking at like the geniuses for animals as well, to make it a little bit of a challenge to get some of those harder ones. But then make sure to have a handful of those be crackable in RockU directly. So the idea being that you can use RockU, crack a couple of them, figure out what the theme is, and then start building your more comprehensive word list to get the remainder of it. So by those kind of first initial ones, that should give you the hint for the rest of the challenge. I will say password cracking challenges are like really, really hard to like fully get right. We're trying to make sure that these are not challenges where it's just a matter of like who's got the best GPU. We really want it to be a situation of like who's got the best skills with coming up with a comprehensive word list, and then coming up with kind of like the permutations, the combinations around that. So in general, what I would suggest is as you're going through those harder challenges, make sure that you have like a really, really solid word list, and then some pretty good rules for the different permutations. One thing I will suggest when you're trying to get those like last couple of password hashes is if you have rules that are doing kind of like the leet transform on the passwords, you need to have partial leet transforms, because I think a lot of the default ones, they'll do the leet transformation for every single character and not if like some of the characters are converted. So yeah, that's how they're made. And I always run through, definitely with the easy and the medium, going through and making sure that like they are going to crack with a standard GPU in a VM, or sorry, standard CPU in a VM without any trouble. Verifying that like the list that you can get on the internet for like the word lists, those are definitely findable. And then with like cracking those like last like final ones, it's hard for us to know what technique people are going to use for a lot of those password cracking challenges. So we generally have a theme where we'll say, okay, here's a password, but we'll just like only add letters to it. Sorry, only add numbers to it at the beginning, at the end. Here's one that will add some special characters beginning and the end. And then here's one where it's going to be like the partial leet, so that depending on what type of techniques you use, it's going to be crackable. So yeah, hopefully that gives people a lot of context there. All right. The next question I'm seeing here, and I'll also add in some additional questions if people are not asking more kind of like questions for the challenges, because we really want to be. We'll take some more of those kind of like more meta level, like, hey, how are we going to be looking at the like how does like the leaderboard and the ranking work? We'll kind of answer those at the end, but I want to make sure that while we have Dylan here, we get as many kind of challenges that we can, questions that we can cover that are going to tie to real world challenges. So I will take a look here. There's a question here for, is there a major difference between the skill level and resources between someone with a 50 to 60% completion versus an 80% completion? If so, what are the major differences that we should keep in mind? So I think these might be some maybe some advice that we could give to people if they're kind of feeling like they're stuck in that percentage range, what they might want to consider to kind of get them a little bit further.
So I kind of want to start out and stress that if you're in like the 50 to 60% completion, you're doing really good. Like don't think of it like you would like a test for college where like a 50 to 60% is like a failing grade. 50 to 60% is really good in terms of like the competition. So like, don't let that number discourage you. Yes, there's room for improvement, but don't, it's very easy to like see that number and kind of like start feeling bad. Don't, that's a very good number and it's something to be proud of. Second of all, like the big difference, I'm kind of oversimplifying it a bit, but it's just experience, because like the more you do it, especially like CTFs specifically, like the more CTFs you do, like the more you start to notice like certain patterns. And it's very akin to like playing an instrument where you're kind of good at first, like once you get over like that initial like learning bit, but there's still like plenty of room for improvement. Does anybody on the engineering team know of like any like exact that they would want to say for it?
So to me, those sound like very specific numbers for something that you might have come across, and that's your completion. And if that is, it's good to go back and look at what couldn't you solve and start studying that. So I can say from the statistics and data that we have, commonly things that people aren't able to complete are the web app exploit and enumeration and exploitation categories. So if that's something that you struggle with, I think we have some pretty good write-ups in the gym. The gym is still open, so you can go even after the season, go back and go look at those write-ups, try to complete those challenges, and then maybe get those last couple of things and get up to that 80% completion that you're looking at.
All right. There's another question in the chat asking, how is crypto hard meant to be applicable to the real world cyber? Seems not to be a very usable encoding scheme. So I'm actually going to tweak this and add a couple, two additional things. One is kind of going over the general crypto category, because I think it's probably a better question for crypto as a whole. So I guess, Dylan, a question for you would be, how do you see crypto kind of in your day-to-day? So for some context, some of the challenges that we had this past season, we had a challenge where people were needing to take a public PGP key and encrypt a message and send it over. We had to validate it. And then they also were doing things with like different number-based encoding. And the one challenge here that they're referring to is like a custom scheme. But I'm curious to hear kind of your thoughts and how crypto is more broadly applicable in the day-to-day in cyber.
Yeah, I'll go into kind of two different areas of this, and I want to preface this and all of my other answers in that this is what I see in incident response, right? This is by no means all of cyber, because there are lots of jobs out there that are very not similar to my job, right? But the two areas that I see crypto, specifically like what I would classify as kind of bizarre one-off crypto, not your standard like, oh, I can chuck this into a Zorb brute force or whatever, is generally for hiding payloads, right? Or for hiding either for anti-forensics or for like a legacy AV evasion, or like firewall evasion, right? Getting around like WAFs and stuff like that. So utilizing different encodings, different like ways of formatting your messages, maybe putting in like a bunch of random characters around them, like you said, encoding something into a PGP key. So I'll see that obfuscation. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Appreciate it. So I'll see that on my job, right? We'll have specifically like more advanced. We break our threat actors into generally more like hacktivist, and then e-crime, which is like your ransomware and other just like data theft, looking for money, right? And then nation state. So either your very advanced e-crimes or your nation states, right? Specifically the nation states are looking to obfuscate and encrypt and obfuscate as much as they can, not just for AV evasion. Like, yes, for AV evasion, right? How hard is it to get around McAfee, right, or something like that, or even our product Falcon, right? But also when it comes to the big nation states, they're looking for, how do we make this something that incident responders won't find or won't be able to figure out, because then they can keep doing it undetected. So part of what they do is anti-forensics, trying to get around not just doing it at the moment they're doing it, but trying to make it so that people like me can't find it later on, so that they can continue to do it and nobody will have any idea what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, it's all about espionage, it's all about information, right? And so the more of that you can do undetected, the better. And so that to me is where I see what CTFs would call crypto a lot, right, is in that obfuscation realm and in protecting what you're doing. When you're a nation state using a novel 0-day that hasn't been released yet, and you're the only one that has it, you're going to do everything you can to make sure that nobody detects anything about your intrusion, because as soon as it's gone, right, it's burned. Stuff like that. Does that kind of answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. So for your knowledge, Dylan, the challenge that's being mentioned here was a message that was a frequency analysis, like substitution cipher, sort of. So basically what it was a string that was turned into hex, and then the count for hex was enumerated to like 5 A's for a 5 for an hex, for example. And then that string was used for that. And that tripped a lot of people up unintentionally.
That would trip me up.
Yeah, so the purpose was just to have some like critical thinking and like analysis into what a string actually is, and not just throwing it into some decoder and calling it a day.
Yep, 100%.
Now we got a follow-up to that question, which is what are the most common encoding encryption schemes that you see being used for obfuscation?
That's a hard one to do off the top of my head. And generally when you get into the more of the professional world, especially at a big company like CrowdStrike, right, you're going to have people working in different roles. So we have an entire Intel team that if there's something that's really, really like difficultly, that's not a word, that's really, really heavily encoded, that's going to be pitched over to them, and they're going to take care of that, right? And those are people that specialize in crypto. They specialize in crypto reverse engineering, stuff like that. So as a quick plug for jobs, that's a great place to look at if that's something that really interests you, because that is a need. From me, we see a lot of your standard stuff that you would see out of CTFs, right? I don't have any novel like encoding or encryption like standards to speak on off the top of my head, unfortunately. I wish I had a better answer. I really don't for that question.
I always get caught by the muted myself. So for kind of the normal stuff that you see on a day-to-day basis, is that primarily like, base 64 encoding, and then maybe they do like they're going to be using a common like AES encryption or something like that?
Yeah, AES, right? Any of that. Oftentimes you'll be able to sometimes you'll find like a key for some sort of AES encryption baked into an executable that you're reverse engineering or something like that. And then other things that are just used to get around like legacy AV, like either base 64 or some random like weird XOR thing combined with like gzip inflation or something like that, baked into PowerShell, right? So that something like Windows Defender wouldn't catch it. Something that's doing very like strict hash-based checks, right? As for your more advanced nation states, those are going to be much more few and far between. We don't see that as often, but when we do, it's going to be something very sophisticated and very one-off. We likely won't see it again, right? So those are the really interesting ones where you really get to dig in. And working at a place like CrowdStrike, we get a lot of those cases. If you work like internal security for somewhere, you may have that once, right? And obviously you don't want that ever. But we get to handle a lot of those, which is really cool. So I know that our Intel folks are very experienced in all of that.
All right, thanks, Dylan. I'm not seeing a ton of like specific questions from the chat right now. So if you all have anything, there's the information to put it there. If not, I think probably the best way that we can go through this is maybe if we go over, one of everyone's favorite challenge that they had creating this season, and then see kind of like how that ties into the real world and get Dylan's take on that. So I don't know if there's anyone who kind of wants to start with that first. Any takers?
I can start with that one.
Okay.
So I was the creator of the Garblix challenge, which was the web exploitation easy. I had a lot of fun designing that one. So the name Pirate Pals is kind of a play on the Power Worlds game that came out. I was playing that a bunch. And then the name of the Garblix is from our community. There's a lot of them in that Discord. So a little shout out to the Garblixes. But yeah, so that challenge was basically just a payload injection. You just need to edit and resend it because the server wasn't validating. So it was a pretty easy challenge, but yeah, I had a blast making that one and designing it. It was a lot of fun.
So Max, when you say it was a payload injection, you're just like modifying the post request that was going over?
Yep. Yeah, you can either modify it and resend it or just send a whole new request.
So Dylan, I guess a question for you here. How often are you seeing kind of like web applications as kind of like the entry point for a breach? Is that something that happens frequently?
Yeah, all the time. And the severity of them, as well as the techniques used to get in, vary, right? Sometimes I'll hop into something and someone will say, oh, this server runs Apache Tomcat. And the first question out of my mouth is, have we checked the XML file to make sure that the username password isn't Tomcat, right? And sometimes it is. But sometimes it is a custom-built in-house application, right? Just like you would see in a CTF. It's not like WordPress or anything like that. And someone legitimately did some sort of stored XSS, right? Or reflected XSS, or they're doing some complex like CSRF. Combine that with a lot of the network edge devices, specifically in the past year. So I'm talking about, in no particular order, and not saying it was these ones exactly, but edge devices like Cisco ASAs or Palo firewalls or FortiGate firewalls, or any sort of like external network appliance that isn't your traditional server. A lot of the 0 days that are coming out for those are based on their web portal, right? Or their like RESTful API or something like that. And so you can this one's public. The Palo Alto 0 day that just came out not too long ago, a week ago, I think 2 weeks ago, involved being able to do an arbitrary file write through the session ID. If you set your session ID header to a path, right, you can do an arbitrary file write. And then there's some other fun stuff about how to get RCE from there. So we see novel web app attacks all the time. Sometimes that comes from like public 0 days. And so there will be public code online that threat actors, script kiddies are just going through and hitting. Sometimes that's nation states with their own 0 days, and we have to go back and figure that out. Sometimes what's really fun is we even get the opportunity to say, okay, if this type of scenario existed, and if we happen to have the website available, right, let's mentally walk through the steps the threat actor took and see if we could figure out how to exploit this from a red team perspective, and then look for evidence of that in the logs. Because when it comes to web apps, it's what actually would be logged based on a particular web exploit. So anyway, I talk about web exploits all day, but we see them all the time. Either just, you get in and then you drop a coin miner and leave, or you get in and that's the entry point to the entire network for ransomware, espionage, or whatever it is. So all the time.
All right, thanks, Dylan. Who else is next?
I think probably my favorite challenge I made this year that is also like fairly relevant, and I mainly know this because I was talking to someone in the players committee and they said that they liked it for this reason, is I did an LDAP scanning challenge where you just had a LDAP server that you could query anonymously, and you could just get a bunch of information from that. Then I can pass it to Dylan. How much do you see like just people hitting LDAP and trying to get user information?
So yeah, I mean, we'll see a lot of, that's your standard in the MITRE ATT&CK framework, your reconnaissance, right? We see that a lot, whether it's hitting LDAP and trying to get like reconnaissance user information, or hopping into an environment and immediately running, AD Explorer or Bloodhound or what have you. Anything to get those extra tidbits of information can be useful to a red teamer. Additionally, if something like an LDAP server or anything else that hosts information that is queryable is publicly accessible, we see that a lot. And you might be thinking, like, why in the world would you ever have that with a public IP where it can just be hit from the outside? But it happens, right? We see RDP open from the outside. We see LDAP open from the outside. We see like Jenkins CI/CD pipelines open from the outside. Tons of things open to the internet that shouldn't be there, right? So we're looking at things like Shodan, right? Like Gray Noise. We have our own product called Falcon Surface, which can do external surface attack management, or external attack surface management. There we go. To look for things that are exposed, or things within networks where you're like, maybe that should be in its own VLAN, because you can get some interesting stuff out of that, and not any random laptop should be able to hit that, right? So we're constantly looking for what can a threat actor query to get information, like an LDAP server, and why are they able to hit that from the access that they have, right? So yeah, we've definitely seen that.
All right, and Connor, I think it's your turn.
All right. So it's not my favorite challenge, because my favorite challenge was the crypto hard, because I think that's really interesting. But one of the things I find really fascinating, one of the things I worked on was in the team game, there was a Word document that had hidden information just bundled up into the like .docx, and I think that whole exploiting like things that Microsoft has built to try to make things better, and abusing those systems, whether it be for like malware delivery or just hiding information. I think it's super fascinating. And so I guess the question to Dylan here is, like, do you still see like docx being used as like malware delivery nowadays, or is that like something of the past at this point?
We absolutely still see it. Anything that, okay, I don't want to say anything. A lot of things that if you look at in like an educational cybersphere, or in like this competitive cybersphere, right? Like NCL, CTFs, Hack the Box, stuff like that, that you would be like, oh, that's old and defunct. Yes, it is old and defunct if you are actively using proper security, right? But a lot isn't. I went to a presentation from one of the higher ups at our company, and one of the things he says is that somebody, people will go to DEF CON and will present on these like brand new cutting edge ways to get into some sort of appliance or to do something, right? And they'll be like, see, why is anybody doing the old fashioned DOCX, right? To deliver malware? And the answer is because it's still working, right? Legacy antivirus is still not catching some malware delivered by DOCX or PDF files, right? Or by like you click on a link and it goes and downloads a zip from a Google Drive, and then you click on that zip, but it's not actually a zip, it's an executable, and all of a sudden you've got some sort of stealer on your computer. It steals your session cookies, and then they log into your Azure tenant or something like that, right? Like any of those things that you can think of, like, oh, those are a little bit old and out of date, we still see them every day. We still respond to them, because ultimately our goal is to build up our client security to a point where those sort of things wouldn't be effective anymore. But in many cases, they still are.
All right. Well, thank you, Dylan. Really appreciate getting your insight for a lot of how these challenges relate to the real world. I think those seem to be all the questions that we had in terms of the challenges. So happy to let you drop off here, because I think the last remaining challenges we have are kind of more of the meta challenges on the actual competition itself. So really appreciate your insight. It's been great kind of working with you and CrowdStrike CrowdStrike these past several years. I think you were here last season as well to help us with the Q&A at the end here. But we really appreciate your insight and helping to support everyone in their careers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you all for having me. It's always a pleasure to come and speak at the event, and really enjoy being here. And we love, all of us at CrowdStrike love working with Cyber Skyline for everything that we do with y'all. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Dylan. All right. So I don't think there were a whole lot of these meta questions, but I'll let if anyone on the engineering team wants to like call out a question, I'll put up on screen.
I'll make it easy. I'll do the one that you already have up.
I have one up.
I think that it's tracking your scrolling on ours because I can't scroll through them, but it shows just like sporadic.
Okay. Perfect.
I think that's how it works. I don't
probably that sounds like it. Yeah.
So the question is, are there plans to separate enumeration and exploitation into reverse engineering and exploitation categories? And the answer currently is probably not. And the reason for that is a very like small subset of like the overall like player population like actually solves like all of those challenges, as Connor like touched on earlier. Like someone was asking like what's the difference between a 50 to 60% to like an 80% plus. It's the web apps and the enumeration and exploitation. So because of that, we're probably not going to separate them into two separate categories.
But it's something that we've expressed interest in before. But for those experienced people out there that are the ones probably asking for this, it's also, you got to keep in mind that we're trying to make these games accessible to a lot of people, and people that are just beginning already don't complete some of the enumeration exploitation challenges now. And we think it would be a not great stance to then have another category that they still don't feel comfortable completing in. But moving some of the categories around and stuff is things that we have discussed. So stay tuned, I guess, for future seasons.
Right. To just briefly add to that, like with this category specifically, the enumeration exploitation category, it's one of those things where I think we get a lot of, and I'm seeing this in the chat right now of like, hey, it'd be helpful if we can get more, like to have more in the gym. And with this category in particular, there are so many like prerequisites and then types of exploits that could be covered in this category that it's very, very difficult to have something that's a little bit more universally applicable. So like for log analysis, for example, if you know how to use cut, grep, sort, awk, like those like basic command line tools, you are good at, you'll be able to do a lot of log analysis on any kind of like text-based log file, right? You can look at an SSH log, an access log, like, you know, like any sort of text-based logs, those will serve you pretty well. But if you're looking at like enumeration exploitation, unless you are like super expert in like binary reverse engineering, and then you have a pretty solid base, like if you learn how an exploit works in like a Python, like pickling vulnerability, that's not going to apply one-to-one to like a different language, which might have a different method for doing the encapsulation. And so there's just like so much more ground to cover there. So having like a broader category that we can go and slot in specifically like more easy or medium level challenges in there. Yeah, to Connor's point, it kind of like helps us control the difficulty a little bit better.
And I also wanted to respond. Someone in the chat just said like they don't want to be forced into like for the hard to be a binary exploit. And we have so one, we've only recently like actually kind of like started doing more like exploit stuff in like maybe the past season or two. And we generally make sure that that gets slotted into the hard and not the medium and easy. Because again, I understand that reverse engineering is a little bit easier than like poning an actively running binary, but the skill set is like very close, especially on like easier just like stack smashing vulns.
All right. We have this question then in terms of the improvements we can see coming to the Discord community. We have thoughts. Who wants to go?
Yes. I mean, how much should we want to reveal right now? Is the question.
I'd err on the side of revealing less, just so we don't.
An overhaul is coming.
Yes.
We've been discussing internally. We're figuring out exactly what we want to do right now, but it's going to be coming soon. We've heard the complaints. We are aware of you guys.
Yeah, and we genuinely do want to thank the Discord community, especially those that are very active in it and keep it alive outside of when the normal games are going on. You all are the heart of the community, and we wouldn't be in the situation we were if not for a portion thanks to your passion towards the community.
And if there's I think if we could put a call out here, if there are those of you who are very kind of interested in helping build the Discord community and being a greater part of it, my recommendation would be to apply for the Players Committee, which I just put the link to the page on the website for the NCL. But that's probably the best way for you to get the most involved, because as someone just hanging out in the Discord channel, there's not a whole lot that you can do to make some of those more concrete changes. But if that's something that you're passionate about, we love to kind of provide a platform for you all. And for those who are familiar with the Players Committee, it's a group of NCL alumni who help kind of contribute to the resources and the community support that we have here. So if you haven't seen them, Players Committee have done different webinars. They've done some blog posts. They're around in the Discord as well, just kind of providing support, encouragement, learning resources to the community. And so if that's something that you're interested in, we'd love to have you join. All right. Any other questions we have, or are we good to end it?
I think that should about cover it. Unless there's something else that we're not seeing, I think those are the main important questions that we can easily answer right now.
Okay, I'll go. Go ahead, Connor.
There is the other one that you're not on right now.
Another one that I'm not on.
Yeah, that one. So the question is there a plan in the future to make past challenges available post-game so less experienced people can use them for practice? So that's a shout out for Cyber Skyline Pro. So we have an offering where we have basically just a giant archive of past challenges that we have on Professional. And if there's ever a challenge that we've had in the past that isn't on Professional and you want it on there, shoot us a DM or post in the NCL Discord or something, and we can slap it in there for you. Yeah.
I
think that's about it.
I just got a question in here from Lindsay. Are we going to be able to see the standard leaderboard if we aren't experienced? So once we have all the results published, and I guess we can kind of cover that. Once we have all the results published, there will be a public leaderboard for standard and experienced, so everyone will be able to see that. And we'll have the power rankings as well. So right now we have finalized the leaderboards. So whatever you all can see on the platform, those are the final results. We're going to be compiling the power rankings and posting all the leaderboards. That's going to be happening over the course of the next week or so. So kind of expect to get your scouting report, your certificate of participation, having the leaderboards published to the public website, as well as the power rankings. All that is going to be coming out in the next week or so. And question about coins. So for those of you who were in the top 500 from the standard bracket, or your ranking in the experience bracket would have put you in the top 500 in standard, you are eligible for a challenge coin. And so if you would like to get one of those, you'll be receiving an email sometime next week to ask for your shipping address. Make sure that you respond to that and put in your information before the cutoff, because we do these in bulk. So make sure that you provide your shipping address there. And that is, again, the top 500 from the standard leaderboard, and then anyone in the experienced whose rank would have, or whose score would have put them in the top 500 in standard. And we also do plaques for the top 3 in individual, both standard and experienced. And then we do trophies for the top 5 teams in standard and experienced. And all of those like communications and emails are coming out next week. All right, I think we're actually it. I think that's everything. So thank you everyone for participating in the season. I'm still surprised to see that there's like, after an hour and a half of this, there's still like 50 people who are still watching this. So thank you all for joining us. It's a pleasure for us to be running the season every year, and we hope you really enjoyed it and took something away from it. But yeah, appreciate having you all. And Tristan, Connor, Max, you all have any kind of last thoughts?
No. Thanks for playing. We'll see
thanks for a good season.
Get some rest.
Yeah. You all gotta sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care.